What's good, everyone? It's Reese, and I'm here with Jason Akeem, and we're the Diversified Gentlemen. All right. Y'all fellas hear that comment Lisa Ray said about Halle Berry?
Man, yeah.
Did you hear Hakeem?
No, man, I didn't hear this.
Oh,
what happened?
So basically, you got two cougars going at it. So you got like top 10 women of all time in Lisa Ray and Halle Berry, in their 50s, both single. And Lisa Ray basically said Halle Berry's single because she heard her box is weak. She's weak in bed, basically.
Yeah.
Said that on her show on live
TV.
It was petty, man. You're 50 years old, should be talking about that anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, I mean that kind of sounds like it's you want all that smoke. You want it all. You trying to get
I think Halle tweeted her back and added her. She was like, well, my husband ain't complaining or somebody not complaining or something like that. I didn't read the whole thing. I just heard about it. But the whole thing is like, what you talking about?
Like, yeah,
how you know what's going on in her bedroom?
Why is that even coming out of your mouth?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
What kind of confused me is Lisa Ray's single herself.
Yeah.
Two divorces.
That's what I was confused about.
Yeah, I think both of them been divorced twice, right?
Yeah.
2 or 3 times.
On 2 or 3.
Something like that.
All right. So obviously we're on the other side of the spectrum being men. And what things do you look for when you're looking for, your better half or your mate?
First is
I'll let Hakeem go first. He'd get in trouble. See if he get in trouble.
It's the physical attraction, man. Like people are like, you hear that like I didn't fall in love with you for your looks, which is true, but I gotta be physically attracted to you first and foremost. You know what I mean? Like I know what I like physically, so I got to be physically attracted to you. And then from there, once the conversation starts and I find out more about you, your intellect, how can you hold a conversation, like those types of attributes is what seals the deal.
I'm glad you said it, man, because people don't act like looks don't matter.
Man, looks matter.
But human nature, man, you're going to talk to somebody you're attracted to. Off the bat. The only time people with somebody they're not attracted to is when they're already friends first, and then they develop a friendship and they know them intimately.
Yeah,
it don't matter as much. Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
but you meet somebody off the bat, it's 100% physical attraction first. That's human nature. You're gonna look at them and say, "This person, somebody's attracted to." You're not gonna be like, you're not gonna go to a girl that's not attractive and say, "You know what? I bet she got a good personality, man. She probably can cook. Let me go ahead and give her a chance." Yeah. It ain't gonna Nobody
happen.
does that. Let's be real. Nobody does that. You know what I mean? It starts with physical looks. It does.
But the only issue I have are those men and women who are single and be like, I'm looking and ain't no one out there, And then when you suggest something or you bring them an option, they like, nah, this person's too fat or too light or too short. Or you know what I mean, too skinny, and just I just be lost for words because I'm like, well, I'm telling you this person's a good person, it's a good match. This person's a good woman or a good man, and you can't see past that. So
right. I mean, you definitely shouldn't settle, but at the same time, you're never gonna find anybody's gonna meet all your criteria. You're just not gonna do that. You got to find those flaws that you can accept. Not change, those flaws you can accept as they are and move on, but you're never going to find somebody that's going to have that perfect personality. They're funny, they're energetic, they're romantic, they're all this stuff, and they're smart, all these things here. You can have some things that are going to be a little unequal, but you got to decide what can you can forego or you can let go to be able to stay with that person. I'm trying to be careful with my words, man.
It's not what you will let go. It's, I heard Steve Harvey say this like 10 years ago. He was talking to women. He's like, women, you guys have this long laundry list, right? And a lot of it includes, 6'2", dark, handsome, blah, blah, blah. How about you pick, no kidding, five characteristics, traits that you're not going to budge on. For instance, and it could be anything. So if he's got to be 6'2", he's got to be this, and that. But more realistically, all right, he's got to believe in God, right? He's got to want to have kids. He's got to have a career. He's got to be ready. I want someone that's going to get married. So if you're not budging on that and you find someone that meets those criteria, all that other stuff you shouldn't be worried about. And to me that makes sense, because once you throw all those other layers in, you can easily get distracted, men and women, because there's a lot of beautiful women out there that aren't worth much at all.
So I was just about to say
anything to the table.
So that was going to be my point, man, was you also have to, you got to be honest with yourself, right? What do you bring to the table? Because like you said, there's a lot of beautiful women, a lot of attractive guys that don't bring nothing to the table. They ain't worth
physical looks.
They ain't worth nothing except their looks. One thing I think, man, and it goes back, these IG models, fellas, look, man, most of that shit ain't real.
And they popping up more and more every day.
They really are, man. They really are. I mean, I'm pretty sure women experience the same thing with some of these dudes, where they can't hold a conversation. These guys, they've been, star athletes or whatever, what have you, never really tried to strive for more. They really ain't about nothing. I guess they're just like nice to look at.
Yeah. Back when you were saying, Reese, about how women have this criteria for certain men, I think men are the opposite. We have what we don't want. You know what I mean? We don't go, I won't say, gotta have a girl that has this, and this, but we know what we don't want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want a woman that has this, and this. Kind of how we choose them. Then when you're talking to somebody or you're dating, as soon as that hit that something you don't want, then you're already checking out. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about it. Some of the things guys say they don't want in women. Let's be real.
Okay,
I'll start off and be controversial. So
you'll get in trouble.
I think, at a certain age, like I was telling my boy, he's like, yo, all these women have kids. And I'm like, by the time you hit 30, I don't know how it's possible for you to find someone without one.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things you don't want is someone with like baby daddy drama, or someone who's, the kid's father is not in their life at all. Because not only is that a financial burden, now that's more of an emotional burden as well. I think someone that's insecure, where you want to go hang out with your boys, and she's got to give you the third degree on why you're going. That's not a good trait. You know what I'm saying? Someone that I think women, they sometimes hear what they want to hear. For instance, like, I always want someone that's going to work out, right? Because to me, that's self-improvement. I never say I need you to lose weight.
Right.
I need you to
look a certain way.
But I need you to work out. I need you to be understanding of basically waking up, getting up, and doing something physical, so
be about something, not just stagnant.
Hey, but real quick, keep going. I got someone here, like right here, so
go ahead, man.
Out real quick.
Gotcha.
Yes. So I mean, one thing that I think Reese brought up with, knowing what you want or don't want, for guys, I think it goes back to like, you know, the models, you know, it started with print models, and now obviously we have IG, like digital, you know. But we look at those women and we're like, man, I want a chick with a pretty face, nice fat ass, you know what I mean? Nice body. Like, it has to be more brought to the table than just the physical. One, physical usually doesn't last, right? Unless you like really take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Unless you really take care of yourself. And even then, I don't want a chick that's fine with a nice body and is dumb as rocks.
Right.
It's not going to do anything for me. Like, it's not going to do anything for me. It has to be more. Has to be more.
Yeah, you think about it too. When you're younger, you're not really looking for a criteria. We're not out there searching.
No, not at all.
Searching for, you know, the one. So it ends up happening. I know for me personally, you find somebody that you're attracted to, you start dating, and then you find out that they are what you want. You don't go out and seek certain things. You don't have a list and like, yep, she has this, she doesn't have this. I think it's a progression thing for men. We don't go out and seek the one. I'm gonna say all, but you know, we date, and then you find out that they are the one through discovery. You know what I mean? They do certain things. You're having certain conversations. You can intimate intellectually. You know, having conversation, all that kind of stuff. There, that's when you figure out, you know, what you want. I can tell you right now, I didn't have a criteria of what I wanted to marry at all. It was, hey, I like this woman here, like a wife. I'll give you my wife now as an example. She was not a criteria. I didn't write a list of what she was, what I wanted in her. What I found is that what I wanted after dating her, that was just after time, and after us having conversations and being together for a while. Now, are there flaws? Of course not. She has no flaws at all. No, of course, there's things you don't like about your spouse. Of course. Yeah. But the thing about it is, those things would make them who they are. You know what I mean? If everybody was perfect all the time, then there'd be no growth in the relationship. You learn from yourself. You learn from certain things. There's things. Matter of fact, she and I talked 2 nights ago, and I asked the questions about, what is it about me you don't like? You know, I straight up asked her. We had a conversation about the things that I do or things I say or how I do certain things, so we can adjust and grow. Now, as a 22-year-old man, I wasn't asking those questions. You know, you mature as you get older and you have relationships and you learn how certain things. You know, but now you can be more open. You can talk about things and you can adjust to make things better for yourselves and for your relationship. When you're a young man, it's not about that at all.
No,
you're not thinking about that. You're not thinking about those kind of things at all. It takes maturity. You know.
Yeah.
Now, women I can't speak for a woman, but I'm thinking that, you know, they're a little early on in age. They're looking for more of that stability and a criteria in a man. You know what I mean? That's really what it is.
Do you think, and that brings up a good point, do you think that, because I kind of feel like the way women used to think, I think your last statement was in regards to the way women look at men. Do you think that's an old way of thinking now with the way social media has grown and people are more on the virtual side than the physical plane? You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you think that way of thinking has changed a little bit more to a more like superficial type of thinking?
Oh, 100%. I think social media clouds reality. There's a thing I learned about back when I was teaching, a lot of teenagers deal with, and I think adults do the same thing, they just don't realize it. It's called upward comparison, where they'll look at criteria that they see on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is, and all you see is the highlights. You see the good things in everybody's life. Nobody posts their bad days. So they see these things and they say, well, I want that. Or you see the thing where relationship goals, where you see like a couple that's looking all perfect together, smiling, laughing, eating strawberries, whatever. That's not every day. I'm telling you, that's not every day. But people that see that kind of stuff constantly, you scrolling through and seeing these things, you start building your criteria, what you want based on what you're seeing. But you're not seeing the bad times. Nobody's going to air the bad times and the stuff. They're having back arguments about something stupid, who's going to cook what, or leaving your clothes on the floor in the bathroom. They don't see these small little things on there. They see the highlights. And that's what social media is. It's the ESPN top 10 plays of the week. That's what social media is.
That's true.
And a lot of folks don't realize that.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, I think when you do see the negative, they give too much information.
It's for a response.
It's for a response. Now I'm gonna bring up, and I don't know how people are gonna take this. It is what it is. But the whole Jada and Will thing, right? The whole conversation
Relationship goals, huh?
they had that. Well, I'm like, man, that is a little bit too much information, man. It's you got it. Now, what you do is what you do behind closed doors, right? However your relationship is, whatever. I just feel like sometimes there's a little bit too much information given. You know what I mean? It's like TMI.
I think the problem with that is relationship becomes a brand. Now, their marriage is a brand.
It's a brand.
Simple what it is.
Very good point.
It's 100% a brand, so they got to present a certain image for their brand. Because that whole thing between them, I won't get in their marriage, but between them, it hurt their brand. Forget the marriage itself.
Yeah,
that's a brand. That's what hurt them. So their response to that was protecting the brand, man. That's exactly what it was. What it looked like. I'm not gonna say it's what it was because I'm not in their marriage, and that's not fair for me to say. But the appearance was
the optics.
That's what it was.
The optics, like definitely. Yeah, for sure. It's just crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy.
I think when you married for that long, that stuff's bound to happen. Not bound to happen, but I think those who've been married for a very long time kind of understood that, and those who are newly engaged or newlywed or never been married, they're just looking like, oh, I could never. But they explained it like, yo, we are life partners, and this kind of worked for us. Granted, like you said, they're a brand, and we will never ever understand the notoriety and the celebrity that a Will Smith has, and what the impact of that press publicity has on his brand and his career and what he's worked so hard to do. So he had to get on there real quick and spin it. Will look like, it was too much, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't bring that out to Front Street. Your boy did. So they had
That is true. Yeah. They had to respond.
Just like, that's the criticism of Kevin Hart now. Everything he does is, so politically correct. But he's such a huge brand in a business. He has to, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they say the same thing. They move a little different, but there's different aspects. For instance, like Beyonce's Lemonade, when she's talking about the whole thing is about being cheated on. I'm not even sure if it 100% happened, but that put things in perspective. Like, what woman on earth can put themselves higher than Beyonce when it comes to like looks and talent and just success?
Stardom.
And Jay-Z still cheated on her.
This is the thing, man. We don't know. All we see is what we see. The looks, the talent. That's it. You don't know what kind of wife she's being, how she's communicating. You know what I mean? What's going on in their household. Things we do not know. You know what I mean? But we see all the highlights, and we see their drama unfolding on what they're allowed to share. You don't know their day-to-day conversations or what's going on. You don't know, if she farting in the bed every single night and is driving him nuts. We don't know. You know what I mean? We see Beyonce as that's Queen B. We don't know.
No, you're absolutely right.
Everybody's the same way, man. You just do not know what's going on in that household. It makes me think about something else. We think about marriage as a whole, is that there's no contract that spells out every single detail of your marriage and how you're going to approach that marriage. Nothing at all. I mean, you buy a house, contract is like 15 pages long. But yet for a marriage that's going to last a lifetime, you don't have this long, detailed contract of what the expectations are. You got to almost learn these things. Now, of course, there's some counseling you can do beforehand and all that. But the lifetime of relationship, you're going to learn things back and forth. And unfortunately for them, like Will Smith and Beyonce and them, a lot of their learning is public.
It's
You know what I mean?
publicized, yeah.
For us, we had that luxury of, hey, we got our marriages that are in our households. So things we have to deal with, things we got to adjust from is internal. And as long as we don't put that on social media, it's just in our side of our marriage, and that's it. You know what I mean? So we don't have that pressure of the whole world seeing everything about everything you guys do. It's a luxury we have.
So as far as like characteristics and your mate, what's some characteristics of a no kidding, like solid relationship? Not, not doesn't have to be marriage, just a relationship with your better half.
I think for me, it's like having similar drive, right? Not being, I don't necessarily want to say complacent, but just driving each other, right? You making me a better man and me making you a better woman. I think that is very, very important when it comes to a solid relationship. Being able to help each other grow and not stagnate each other.
Yeah, look, somebody that's complementary, meaning not the same, but can complement your weaknesses or your strengths.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got to have that give and take type of thing. If you look at somebody just like you, I want somebody that likes football like I like football. Nah, you marrying yourself. You know yourself already. You've been there the whole time. You want somebody that complements, that who you are. So if you're the guy that likes to watch football every single Sunday, you need someone that doesn't mind you watching football every single Sunday. That has something that they can do on their own and not have to get all your attention. You know what I mean? And that's who you are. You got to be able to find that compliment. It's got to be a balance. That's what I looked for in my wife personally, is a balance. Now somebody that was just like me, because that'd be a problem. If we're the exact same, at some point you're gonna get bored. You know what I mean? Somebody that's gonna keep you on your toes, it's a little different than you. That's what you want to seek. How you find that, I don't know. I didn't purposely go out and look for that, but I realized I wanted that after I got it. So it's kind of hard to say I look for this because I didn't know what I wanted until I got it.
I think that complementary is huge. I think basically like the yin and the yang. You've been around couples that when they show up, they both turned up. They both
That's true.
Or you got couples where they're both to themselves, and they get to the room, they get in the corner, and they only talk to themselves, and you're like, man, it's good to have the yin and yang, even like when dealing with kids. If y'all both the aggressor and the
right
disciplinary, you need the good cop, bad cop. But you need someone to hold the other person accountable also. And when you guys are just alike, when you see things just alike, it's scary because you may be creating a bigger monster. So for instance, I have friends where, when something negative happens, they bring it to their spouse and they're like, oh no, I'm so sorry. That's not your fault. That's their fault. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, it's always good to be in a situation where something happens and for them to be like, well, you could have done this better, or this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? And if you have that self-confidence, you can take that because that person cares for you, and that person's your ride or die, right? So they can come to you and say, that's on you. You messed up, or you do be coming off that way, but I'm still riding for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking the side. If we still need to jump them, I'm down. But you do need to work on that. Just saying. And I don't think not every relationship has that.
No.
I mean, it's I think that is a little easier said than done, but also like, your spouse, right? You know who you're with. So some people probably, I know guys for the most part, we really don't like being told, hey man, you messing up. You need to get it together. You know what I mean? Especially from your significant other. Because
and that's why exactly you need someone there tell you that because you don't
of
like
course. It. Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from. I'm just saying, like, I get why we probably don't see that a lot, but it's definitely needed. I'm not saying it's not needed.
I got something for y'all.
So here's another thing, man, because I'm like controversial again. So that's basically what you said is why women be really, I don't know, resentful. And I think that it has a lot to do with them, right? So women basically have all the power. So just imagine in the world, if you got a bad chick that you're pursuing and she's talking to you and, you know, she's like, do you have a degree? Do you own your own home? Well, I'm not going to even entertain you until you do that, right? Say like every woman in the world felt that way, had those standards. All men would basically have degrees and own their own homes because they want to attract women. So what happens is, you know, I think the men get placated, or women need to understand that men have been studying women since they were 13, 14. So they know what to say even before that, because when you got your mom in the household, you know what to say or to do, give those puppy dog eyes, say, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I didn't mean to hurt you, I didn't know I was supposed to do this, right? And then, you know, in junior high, when you actually really start liking women, you start realizing, oh, they like when I say this, or I gotta be really, 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 really nice at the beginning. And then, you know, you mature and really learn how to play the game. So that's where where I started is you got to have these standards, and then you don't budge on them, or you let them know, all right, we can hang out, get a bite to eat, but that's it. I'm not entertaining someone that's not at this level, because what it seems like what happens is women they kind of chase the prospect and the you know, when a person basically has what's the word I'm looking for? The potential, basically, right? So they have the potential. They move in together. They have the kid, or you know, they end up playing house 5-6 years from now. The dude ain't worth nothing, and then they're better. You know what I mean? So I think from a very early stage, you have to identify what this person you're with, what they're really about, what their goals are, what's really in them, hold them accountable. And if they don't get to that stage at the basically timeline you permit, you gotta leave them be.
I mean,
yeah,
man, it's hard because, like you said, women do hold all the power. They hold all the keys.
And they don't even know it.
They don't even know it.
They know it. They know.
Well, not all of them.
Well, they don't act like they know it.
Yeah, not all of them do. But at the same time, those expectations that you have in men doesn't mean that you should not be doing something yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've met my fair share of women that expect a lot out of men. Sometimes, like, okay, this list is just ridiculous. You sound absolutely ridiculous right now, but they're not about anything. Like that's where that the double bumping of heads and double standards come in. Yeah, like that's where the problem lies. Is like, you know, if you're a woman, you're about your stuff, you know, you're about business, totally different. You know what I mean? You should have high expectations.
Not necessarily.
Let's talk about that though. Yeah,
because I think about being a hypocrite, like, right. So there's a difference between a double standard and a hypocrite. So a hypocrite is, you know, I need you to continually striving to be something. And for men, it could be career, and women, it could be, you know, something different, but they're still striving. Because I believe in double standards. You know what I'm saying? I believe like men should take care of the bills and pay. You know what I mean? And women should be more worried about other things, you know, more traditional. But
you better clarify that, man. You're gonna get some people.
I'm not gonna. I mean, I'll clarify it. Like, women should be more. If I'm no kidding,
it's like get in the kitchen, make me a sandwich.
Yeah. He's talking about sandwich making. That's what he's talking about. Clarify.
Put the last on.
Like, no, but
all right.
But you know, I'll speak the truth. So I feel that if I'm taking care of all the bills, and I am basically I'm leading the household, and I have a success rate with pushing the family, you know, continuously, that, you know, certain things I need more leeway on. You know what I'm saying? For instance, you know, guide trips and stuff, things like that nature. You know what I mean? So I even got friends that their spouses give them a hard time because they want to go to the gym for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just crazy. And it just depends on how you look at things. If your wife's saying, how do you got time for the gym because you're not spending enough time with me? Or she's saying, I just don't want you out of my sight because I can't trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I gotta have some leeway because that just doesn't make sense with me, especially if I'm doing everything right, where it is being a man of the house or being the leader of the household, basically.
Yeah, I thought about that. It's the same thing though. I define it as, okay, what I define as being a man of the house. You know what I mean? How do we define that? Traditional roles was, because I'm a man, I'm in charge of the house. But if you a man that's not bringing nothing to the table that's going to protect your household or provide for your household, then you don't get that title, man. It's not automatic. And some people they believe that since they're a male, they're automatically in charge of the household.
Yeah.
I know some boss women that's bringing in all kinds of stuff for the household. Yeah. So as a man, if you're not bringing to the household to be able to provide, protect, you know, and push your family forward, you're not the man of that household. You may say that, you know what I mean? But in reality, what's going on, you're not, you know what I mean? So we, as men, if we want that title, we have to be able to take responsibility for it. I mean, all of it. Like I told my wife years ago, I said, I'm not, you know, traditional where the wife has to stay at home all the time, do this. I said, but if she wants to do that, I'm not going to tell her not to do that. I'm going to say, all right, cool. I got to step my game up and make sure I provide enough to sustain our lifestyle. Even to this day, if she decides not to do anything at all, I'm not going to say, well, babe, we need you to do this. No, I better figure it out. As a man of the household, that's how I feel I should be doing. Now, I'm not saying everybody should be that way, but if you're going to take that route of being in that leadership role, then you take that route and you got to make sure you do that. And that doesn't mean do as I say. I don't say this do as I say. I just let us guide that together, but responsibility to make sure things running like it should be, that's on that man. You have to be able to make sure you provide and protect your family. That's the biggest thing. It's not dictate to your family. I mean, I'm not for that at all. It's not a dictator type of thing. You got to have that compromise with your significant other, but take that leadership role. And to be able to do that, you have to establish a way where you can protect and provide your family. Because I'm tell you right now, if your spouse or your significant other has to bring in all the revenue and raise the kids and run the household and run the budget and make decisions, you are not the man of that household. You are not a leader of that household.
That ain't gonna last.
No, it's not gonna last, man.
It's not gonna last.
It's not about her respecting you, but you got to earn that respect as an individual. You know what I mean? What you bring to the household, and it's not because you are male. That can't be enough. That's not enough, man. In fact, you got 2 testicles does not make you the man of the household. It's your actions and what you are doing for that household that makes you the man of the household.
So I think we were talking about 2 different things. So it went into what is expected when you're in a relationship. Kind of started off with what you're looking for before the relationship starts. I don't think we finished that conversation, so I want to go back to that real quick.
Ahead.
So we were talking about being hypocritical, right? Double standards, being hypocritical. Now with women, we said that women have a long list, right? They have certain.
We assume.
Yeah, we assume. It's kind of factual. It's kind of factual. It's kind of factual. Most women have a list of things that they want in a guy. What I was saying was, if you have this list, which is cool, that's fine. You shouldn't settle. You need to also be on your game, right? You also need to be on your business, taking care of your personal goals, making sure that you can match this person that you're looking for. So if you want someone with a degree that can hold a conversation, that looks good, that works out, you should be in school or finishing a degree, working out. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was getting to.
Oh, or bring something to the table.
It has to be kind of not exactly equal footing, but if you expect this out of, your significant or the opposite sex, you should be about your business too. You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't be the one bringing everything to the table, and you feel that just because you look good, you don't have to bring anything to the table either. Like that, I don't think that's going to work. And if you don't look good, you better be excelling in all other areas.
That's all jokes. That was a joke.
I ain't joking. That's facts. No,
she got a personality body, man.
Yeah. Hey. I mean, it is what it is, man. You see that a lot where it's like, some women just ain't about nothing, but expect this, this Hercules type guy to come up with everything going for her and sweep her off her feet. It's like, come on, man. Like, it don't work like that.
Yeah, but you got to think about it too. Are those women getting those men? They may want those men, have that criteria, but are they actually getting them? Not bringing them to the table. And if they do, is it going to be longevity? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
probably not, but yeah.
And if they do, you gotta be careful what you ask for, because I always tell women, like, say if you do get this perfect knight in shining armor, and meets all your criteria with the looks, the job, the charisma. You do understand every woman in the world wants this person, right? You know what I'm saying? And that guy has unlimited options.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just understand, him, quote unquote, locking you down, wifing you up. Just when he goes out into the world, what he's dealing with everyday turning down options. So I just, it's so funny when, like, celebrity athletes, they're caught cheating, and women just like, huh, him?
Like,
you know what I mean? I'm like, of course he is. He's a good looking millionaire. Right. And anytime he walks in the room, everyone knows, how much he's worth. Just that's, women are attracted to stability, and finances create stability. So even if that person knows, all right, this gentleman's married, or he's in a serious relationship, or he has kids, I think there's just that innate attractiveness is still going to lead to certain things. Just like for men, we like those physical attributes, and we like respect. So when you see a woman who is very, like, complimentary of you, or giving you big ups, like, man, I don't meet guys that do this, blah, 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 you killing it. Guys are like, you know what, you're right, I am. It's been a while since I've heard that.
Made a good point.
Guys we have egos, and
and we don't, and guys don't get. Yeah, and guys don't get compliments on the regular like women do.
That's a good point, man.
That doesn't happen
out there. You got a good man, compliment him. Let him know.
Yeah,
let him know you appreciate him. Let him know that you like look today. You like when you bring to the table. Compliment him.
And sometimes the compliment's not even the, like, what's those love languages?
The love language,
love language.
You gotta understand what your man like for appreciation. I will tell you, 99% of men like certain things where women don't make it too hard on yourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's lead the people with something they could actually look for, or improve their relationships.
The one thing I have is improve yourself and ask those questions. How can I be a better part of the relationship? What can I do better? Where are my flaws? And it may come down to asking the question. You maybe don't know. To ask your significant other, somebody you're dating, say, hey, what can I do better to be a better, mate to you? What about me do you not like? That way you can adjust and be okay with the answer. Don't get offended. If she says something you don't want to hear, you ask the question. So all you can do is listen, sit back, reflect, and adjust who you are or things that you how your approach to things to make things better. But start with yourself. If you don't get yourself right, doesn't matter else who you're talking to, who your mate is. You got to focus on yourself a little bit and make sure you are ready to receive that person.
I would say perfection is not a real thing. There's nothing in this world that is perfect. So when you meet individuals that, show an interest in you and you have this idea of this perfect man or woman that you want, give this person a chance. You never know. They might be the love of your life. Just give them a chance. Perfection is not a real thing. So don't look for it because you're not going to find it. You'll be single forever and alone and miserable.
Yeah, they say perfection is the enemy of good. So yeah, you may be missing out on a real good mate because looking for that perfect person that's never going to come. All right. So what I have is being, look for that person that compliments you. As far as like being a yin and a yang, not actually literally complimenting you, that's cool too, but have someone that compliments your strengths and weakness. And I think that's much more important than someone having like similar tastes or, liking the same music you like or listening to the same, the watching the same TV shows or whatever. If you're hyped, you need someone to kind of bring you down, mellow you out. If you are a lazy person, you probably need a self-starter to be like, come on, let's get it. If you are kind of that abrupt, you have like that abrasive personality, probably need someone that's more gentle and kind. And hopefully that person will deal with you. Because hopefully. I think, because like perfection is, I think a lot of people are looking for the quote unquote soulmate, and I'm not sure that exists because, relationships, marriage, love is no kidding, like a daily choice, something you have to work on day to day. And even when you don't feel like it or when you don't like that person, you got to make that choice and really continue to fight for it. So, all right. So, yeah, that was an interesting topic with some interesting takes. So hopefully y'all still like hopefully you'll still like the episode and subscribe to us. And we didn't mean to offend anyone. All right. Y'all be easy. We out.